What is up, guys, and welcome back to the vlog. If you guys are new here, my name is Evan. Why don't you go ahead and smash that subscribe button, because today we're gonna be talking about which M3 is a better car. For those of you who are new to our channel, this is my E36 M3 Turbo, and this is my E46 M3 Supercharged. Now, although these cars do have a lot of similarities, they are completely different, and today we're gonna be talking about which one I think is better. So underneath the hood of the E46 M3 is the S54 motor, and this one has been fitted with an active AutoWorks supercharger kit, but it is running status group headers with a stock exhaust. Everything else is stock to my knowledge, with the exception of an aftermarket clutch and flywheel. For the E36 M3, this is the S52, which is also a 3.2 liter inline six, and this one has been fitted with the CX Racing GT35R kit. This one has been tuned by RK Tunes and should be making around 400 horsepower. So overall, in terms of power, I believe both these cars are pretty similar. The E46 M3 does have a 6-speed manual transmission, and the E36 M3 has a 5-speed manual transmission. The E36 M3 is on AccuAir E-Level air suspension with Airlift Performance struts, and the E46 M3 is on Fortune Auto coilovers. The E46 M3 is running stock rotors and pads with Delinte tires, and the E36 M3 is running stock rotors with Hawk HPS 5.0 pads and Nitto NTO5 tires. Now, from the exterior, these cars are so much different. Obviously, this car is absolutely crazy. This one is almost 100% stock, but it's super dirty. So let's go ahead and change that. All right, now, truthfully, I haven't been to a car wash like this in a long time. So I'm definitely one for washing my car myself. And actually, I couldn't tell you the last time I went to a car wash like this, but my sister Sophie gave me a gift card for my birthday. So shout out to you, Sophie. Thank you. Let's give it a try. Please don't scratch my paint too bad. Daniel, OC Detail, I might need you after this. Take the E46 out. I actually have to stop off at the post office to drop a whole bunch of these orders. So if you guys have placed any merch orders or any orders through throtl over the past couple weeks, just in general, thank you guys so much. We really do appreciate the support. Right away, as you step in the E46 M3, I think hands down the interior is nicer. And what I mean by nicer is the fit and finish just overall feels a lot nicer, and that's obviously because it's a lot newer. So this car is a 2003. That car over there is in 1996. So, you know, you're talking about 7 years of refinement and improvement, and, you know, obviously a new generation of cars. So the leather feels like a little bit nicer. I know right off the bat, the door handles and the door panels are way nicer in the E46 M3. If you guys have ever driven in or owned an E36, I think in general across the board, the quality of the door panels is pretty lousy. So in addition to the overall interior being nicer, you know, how does it feel, right? That's what you guys are here for. And I will say that without a doubt, the E46 M3 feels like a bigger car. So I believe this car comes in at around 3,400 pounds. I could be wrong, but it feels like the E36 is anywhere from 400 to 500 pounds lighter than this car. Now, I could be totally off base, and it might just be a total feel thing, but I will say that, you know, the handling is excellent in this car. One thing that is much better in the E46 M3 is the gear shift. The gear shift lever is definitely tighter. It does not float around as much. If you guys have been following our channel for a while, you'll know that I struggle with that for a little bit. And I did replace some of the shifter bushings, but I will say this is direct. The 6-speed manual, it feels great. Now, I have looked into doing like a CAE shifter in the E36, and I think that that is something I'd like to do in the future. I will be tracking that car There's still a bunch of little things that I need to do. Hold on a second. Time to go ship all this stuff. Shout out to the guy at the post office who just screamed throttle. That's freaking awesome. All right. All right, we are back on the main road, so let's continue this discussion. Now, we pretty much covered a big portion of the interior, talked about just the fit and finish. The gear shift is great. I love the gauge cluster in this car. E46 M3s have this gray color gauge cluster. So that may be like foreshadowing. We have a cool project for the E36 M3 that we're going to be doing in the next couple weeks here. Already got the parts in, and I'm very excited about that. But you know, overall, the interior quality is better. Like I said, the seat quality is better. But let's move on to something else. So let's move on to how this car handles. Now, obviously, I'm not on a track right now, but I will say that as far as confidence goes, this car, when you're driving it, it feels like you can go 200 miles an hour around a turn. Obviously, you can't. If anyone on here has ever driven a Porsche 911, like an older one, like an air-cooled one, that's kind of the confidence that this car gives me when I drive it. I feel like I could rip this thing around a track. It's not gonna let me down. It's very predictable. You know, there's no, and maybe this is this car specifically, but there's no nannies, there's nothing to save your ass. You know, that's what I like so much about the M cars, and I actually think that BMW did a fantastic job with this car in terms of inspiring confidence to the driver. You just feel like you can drive it hard, and it's meant to be driven hard. Now, I'm not talking about banging off the rev limiter. I don't like to beat the crap out of my cars at all, but I will say that it makes you just feel like you can drive this car how it's meant to be driven, and that they designed it for a purpose. So let's talk about sound now. Now I'm gonna go ahead and insert a clip of the E36 M3 here. That was from our video a couple days ago. Man, it pulls. Now I do have our external microphone on as well. I'm hoping that it will pick up the sound for this car because it's totally different. So this car does have the supercharger. So let's give it a little pull. You know, it's quieter, and maybe that's why it's not as dramatic. It doesn't give you that sense of excitement like the E36 M3 does. Under 5 PSI, it's kind of tame. 5 PSI hits on the turbo, and then it just freaking rips. So if anyone in the comments owns an E46 M3 and you want to give me your insight on what exhaust sounds good, please let me know. I would really, really appreciate that. Let's talk about actual speed and performance or acceleration in a straight line, because I know that's probably why a bunch of you guys are here. I think that it's pretty close. I think that the E36 is lighter, and I think that it probably makes around the same power as this. I'm thinking around the 400 horsepower mark. Now, I will be the first one to say that I really have no idea, and that's just my kind of opinion on this. Let's do a quick 30-second review of Soapy Joe's car wash. So the car looks pretty shiny, although it didn't really remove any of this stuff. So obviously, guys, I was in a pinch just looking to clean up that car a little bit, but I would say if you got the time, you have a hose, you have access to some decent products, go ahead and wash your cars yourself. All right, so we are in the E36 right now. I'm not gonna go ahead and take this thing out. If you guys wanna hear sound clips of this, there is a previous video. It goes through the entire mod list on this car. I actually think it turned out really well. So if you wanna see that, I will put the link in the description or maybe a card up here, but go ahead and check that out. But we're gonna be talking a little bit about the differences and maybe about some of the things that we talked about while I was driving the other car, which is the interior. So the interior on this car, overall is in good condition, but just the material selection, especially of these door cards, less quality than the E46 M3. So they definitely spent a lot of time and R&D on that. Now, one of the biggest positives of this car is how analog it is. And I actually think that's why overall I like the E36 M3 more, is because this thing is simple, it's aggressive, it makes all the right noises, it's fast, and it just, if you want to go out and have a lot of fun in the car, I would rather take this one. If you want to go out, maybe go on a nice date, you want to drive that thing for 6 hours on a road trip, I would go with the E46 M3. But if you are literally going out with the sole intention of having fun while driving a car that's fast and modified, if you want to have that one car that is super exhilarating, super fun, I would recommend either building or buying a boosted E36 M3. First off, I think it's a great platform. There's a lot of aftermarket support. There's a ton of parts for sale listed on throtl, on eBay, on Craigslist, everywhere. And a lot of people have boosted these cars. They're very affordable as well. So you can actually buy an E36 non-M3 for maybe 1,500 bucks. So at the end of the day, modding your car depends on what you like, not what I like, not what anyone else on the internet likes. It depends on what you guys want to build. Now, before we wrap out today's video, we're going to continue the Meet the Team series. So Alex has a couple things he wanted to say to introduce himself to you guys so you know a little bit more about Alex.
Hey guys, what's up? I guess I'm next on Meeting the Team. So my name is Alex Bradley. I grew up in Metro Detroit. I graduated with a college degree from Michigan State University, so I'm a proud Spartan from the Midwest. Go green, go white. My first car was a 98 Jeep Cherokee, little maroon burgundy color going on. It got me to where I needed to go. That's about it. It was actually during my time out here working for business.com when I met Rick and Evan. So Rick was storing parts for his Porsche 911 build at the time, which was, you guys have seen it on the channel now, it's beautiful, the orange one. Rick was always coming in the garage, going back and forth with parts, wheels, rims, etc. And I was always down there shooting darts with the boys, so you know, it just happened. Like I started talking to Rick, chit-chatting, and you know, one thing led to another. He was asking for marketing advice, I was asking about cars. Before I knew it, I was sitting down with Evan and Rick, and we were talking about throtl and what it could become, what it is, the idea. So go ahead, follow me on Instagram, and I will respond to every DM.
All right guys, I hope you guys enjoyed that. If you like this video, please give it a big thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and if you guys are stuck around this far, do you guys want to see these two cars race at the drag strip? If you do, comment below. All right guys, see you in the next video.